I discussed professional workflow. When you're on a team, you're going to need your files to be clean and organized so other people can work off them. This is an older version of a file I did for the Humanity Preservation Foundation. They're based out of New Jersey. It's a organization that helps victims of domestic abuse, molestation, and bullying find local resources to help them with counseling and treatment. So we're going to be doing some work for them later on in the course. It's a great foundation to be a part of. So there's two spots you want to be organized in when you're working in After Effects: your project panel and your timeline. So I've got a lot of artwork in here, and I'm just going to put it in a folder to make it less cluttered. So I'm going to use the folder icon down here, right next to my composition and the 8 bits per channel. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to call this art. You can call it whatever you want, line art, but everyone would know, okay, there's art files in that folder. So I'm going to select what I want to put in there, like such. Now this is a very complex animation that has a lot of nesting and pre-composing. These are all pre-comps. I'm going to go into that in a second. But they're all sequences as well. So I'm just going to make a folder for sequences and clear up some of that clutter. Again, like I said, this is an old file I already submitted to the company. So it's already for me to be making changes off this because this is on my home computer and not on their database. Okay, so now all my sequences are in there. Now, here's a pre-composed file. This is a layer. This is my timeline. So I've got a variety of stuff in my timeline. So if I look at this pre-comp 1, I'll double click it. It opens up over here. So here I've got a bunch of shapes that I animated over time. So there's my keyframes, put some expressions on them. And then there's also more pre-comps inside that comp. That's an example of nesting. You can have pre-composed artwork in another pre-comp that's in a sequence that's part of a big project. It's like nesting, those Russian nesting dolls. So to make a pre-comp, you just select a file, or a layer, or multiple layers, right click, pre-compose. Call it whatever you want. I'll just call this line art PC for pre-comp. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Sometimes in After Effects, you want to put an effect on a layer and it will not work unless that layer is pre-composed. You can even make a pre-comp off of one single layer. And sometimes you'll need to do that. So I'll just call this Art PC for effect. Now the effect will work when I want to apply it to that layer. The number one rule in After Effects: if something's not working, try pre-composing the items in your timeline together that need to be together in order for that effect to work. So that's an example of organizing your timeline with pre-composing and nesting inside pre-comps. So that's the pre-comp. Here we go. This should be, that's one single layer I did for the example. Here's an example of a bunch of layers that were turned into pre-comp 2 that are inside pre-comp 1 in the timeline. That's part of the sequence idea 1. This is a lot of layers, a lot of animation going on, and the easiest way to keep track of it and sort it all out is through pre-composing in your timeline.